Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show on the 25th of June. It is glorious out there. It's glorious. What are you saying?
It's hot.
See, we're British. British, and that's what happens. We get some sun, it's too hot. We get some rain, it's too wet. Get cold, it's too cold. We are a nation of moaners. Absolute moaners. So, how you doing, Shelley?
I'm good, thank you. Cooling down a little bit because I have been out with the dog earlier, but we have been running around backwards and forwards. So, yes. Cooling. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm going out in a little while to go to the shops, and then I'm coming back. I'm not moaning because it's lovely. It just looks lovely, and the washing's on the line, and it's just gorgeous. Yeah. We did just have a thought. We just need to do a little bit of a shout out to our esteemed leader, Dee Bailey, who's out in that. She's out in that. Working hard. So, Mrs. Bailey, we're thinking of you. We are thinking of you. Good afternoon.
Yes, it's lovely. That's what you need to say. It's lovely.
It's lovely. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Get out in your garden. Go and sit and have a soft drink if you're working and a glass of wine if you're not, which I have got in the fridge ready for the football tonight.
Yeah, are we going to? We know we're okay, but could we actually? Cecile, come on! Could we win? Could we actually win a game? Really quite.
Of course we can. Possibly. Anybody who's a friend of mine on Facebook will have seen that I am questioning whether I need to even be an England supporter. I'm going to go into it today being an England supporter. I might come out the other side being something else because, yeah, you know what they're like. Who are they playing?
I've forgotten who they're playing today, actually. Now,
hold on, let me just look. I don't know. I just know that they're playing. That's all I need to know. Oh, Slovenia. Will I be? What's the term?
See, I think
Slovenic. Will I be? Will I be Slovenic by the time I finish this evening? Who knows? But they're playing, so we've got to get behind them.
And I think we've got to, going by what I've read up, we've got to win this, else the next game we will then actually be playing Germany. So,
oh no, we don't want that.
No.
Oh dear.
It was Germany. It was a big game that we would then have to make sure. So yes, we can't just slip through this one.
Anyway. Look at that. That is so interesting. Have a look at that. So we had 3 people watching us and we've talked about the football and now there's only 1. We're not just talking about the football today. Seriously, we're not. We are going to be talking to the one and only Shelley today. She is our guest today, as well as the IT whiz and everything else, because she's got something good going on. So I'm going to hand over to you, Miss Shelley. Tell us what's happening.
Well, as some people may or may not know, I am a community supporter, community champion for the Ollie Foundation. Now, the Ollie Foundation, the Ollie is not a person. The Ollie stands for One Life Lost is Enough. And they're actually a charity that was set up by 3 sets of parents that lost their sons to suicide, met through the counselling process through SOBS, so the survivors of suicide, bereavement support, and they felt like they needed to do something different. They needed to actually make a difference. And because I suppose we're talking teenagers, older teenagers, they found that it just needed to make a bit more of an impact. So rather than setting up a charity that could be a counselling service, they were looking at some of the causes of suicide, perhaps trying to work out if they could actually sort out something before it gets to that point, and then the understanding of why as well. So as part of that, they actually found that, of all places, Canada was the most suicide safe country in the world.
Okay.
And the reason for that was there was this culture, if you like, of having training and understanding and being more, it's not just friendly with people, but understanding of other people. Because the more that I've learned through working with the Ollie, that the more that I understand, yes, suicide can be part of a depression cycle, but it's not always.
Yeah.
It's a crisis point. It's I can't take any of this anymore, and I need this to stop. It's whatever this is for that person. I mean, it could be someone that sort of lost their job, as on top of already having a few arguments at home and everything else. That was the final straw, and they couldn't work out how they were going to move on from that point. And unfortunately, as I describe it, just listening to their own voice for so long, trying to work it out and deciding that is the way that they're going to go. It's a bit too deep to go into it at lunchtime, but there are certain things that on certain ages, and if you're a male or if you're female, that you would actually try to work out these things differently. That's just the nature of how we are as human beings. And unfortunately for some men, to solve the debt problem, to solve this, that, and the other, they know that they're the one that's got the higher life insurance and can be very, the thought process will go through. But if I did that, that would sort that out, that would sort that out, that would sort that out. Whereas a woman coming from that naturally would actually then look at it a different way and would say that this is a different way of sorting things out. So, I mean, there's
and the same for young people and children.
Yeah.
You know, for young people, their thought process could very well be, well, this is what's happened, and if I am no longer here, then that is not going to continue, or the family would be better off without me because I do this, and this, and then it just that overthinking just then takes over. Yeah.
And even if you, from sitting from a different viewpoint, would actually then say, but that was trivial, that obviously wasn't trivial to them.
No.
But as I said, it could be something that was a relationship of some kind that's broken up, and you can't see a way like go forward from that point onwards. There's so many different things, and for youngsters nowadays, and where the Ollie are actually like concentrating more, is the fact that, for instance, I'll use one example. Bullying in our time, being of a similar age, that we could walk out of school, close your front door, and don't have to put up with the bullying. We've then had a generation behind us that it has been, okay, mobile phones were then in play. Don't look at any text messages. Don't look at any those kind of messages. You got to understand now that this next generation, they're now worrying because they know that all their friends at school are on all these other different platforms doing a general chat, and you have to be part of it because you'll miss out on all this conversation that's kind of going on, this whole FOMO thing. So you get this bullying or this constant contact 24/7.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't stop. So if you can't see that, and you're trying to help a young adult or a teenager or even a child go through that process, you're not going to know. I mean, one thing that I won't say where I heard this from, but I'll put it out here. How many of you know that on your iPhone in particular, the messaging service that you can sign up to on there will be a disappearing messages? It will do.
I don't even have an iPhone.
Right. So it does it as a default. So you could be part of a messaging group as a child, not really knowing too much about, or you as an adult, as a parent, you've given your child this, you know that child is on a messaging service with the friends, and you're looking at it every now and again. You can actually then send all sorts of hateful stuff, but on a disappearing service. So that person will read it. As soon as you read it, it disappears it. So Snapchat.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Nikkei, just like Snapchat.
WhatsApp have updated their service, so that can actually do it. Things like Telegram, something. There's another one that's then like a mail, something mail. It's called. They've all got that service that you can, as you type in your message, you could then have that as a disappearing message, and the same with pictures.
Right.
So you can send a naughty picture, someone then sees it. If you don't look at it properly, if you come out of it quickly, you go back in and you can't see it again.
Yeah.
But they're then getting savvy. You see it, you take a screenshot before that disappears. You've now saved a picture that someone thinks is going to be disappearing. So someone could then say, "Oh, I'll send you this picture," but you don't know what it is. Yeah.
So
I was going to start talking about this, but it was something that is part of what's kind of like going on. But yeah.
So when young people, specifically young people, because that's the majority of my work, but when young people are then sending revealing pictures to their partner as such, to their boyfriend, girlfriend, non-binary, whatever, and then that then breaks up, that person could have then taken a screenshot and kept those pictures, which is why they then are able to send them around after that has then ended.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Even if you've actually then gone in and said, "I don't want any of this information on our chat anymore," you can delete. You either delete your thread or you delete everything. But as Nikkei just then said, that they can still be on a server. So the police still can sometimes go in and find it anyway. So if you are someone that's sending out this kind of stuff, the police can actually then see it. But with the Ollie, they're looking at it more as a whole thing to do with trying to nip this suicidal ideation before it actually gets to that to that point. So there is things that are then going on where they're going into schools and doing talks in schools. They're doing talks with parents and anyone in any kind of groups, because it could be that I'm walking the dog in the field of a morning and the kids are walking to school and I could see something.
Yeah.
To have that little bit of knowledge between people, just how to help and how to approach those kind of situations. I will say, don't ever be frightened of the word suicide. Use it, because if you actually then saying you're not going to do anything silly, which is quite what is the natural thing that always then comes out, it just belittles what's going on, and you're going to automatically get that kind of no, it's fine kind of thing. by actually using some of those words, sometimes it actually snaps them and kind of, oh, actually, yeah, hang on, it's not, you're not going to make them do it. It's, as some people then think. If you just want little bite-sized things, I've put it in the comments. They're going to do some lunchtime lectures, 1st and 5th of July, with because the Ollie Foundation is based in St Albans. I think, yeah, Helping Hearts Week. So that's a Hertfordshire Council. They're putting on these little lunchtime lectures. So some of their big things that the Ollie Foundation do, if you look on their website, they do all sorts of different types of training. So whether that be an afternoon, whether that be a full day, whether that be the full weekend, whatever, they do. Each of those are actually going to be an hour long and give you a little bit of an insight as to what the different training bits that they've got. So you've got the Talk Safe program, which is literally just how to open up the conversation. It's very, very simple. Doesn't go too in depth, but it gives you some helping tips. The Prescription Safe plan is a huge bit of work that the Ollie Foundation has done regarding what is it like for people that do end up on antidepressants and how it does affect you, what the different things to look out for. Because one of the things that they did as part of their looking at what's going on, when you go to university, all of a sudden you're given rights to all of your medical stuff. So you could be at home and you go along to the doctors and your parents can be involved. All of a sudden you go to university. Now, naturally, your body's changing. Naturally, your life is changing because you're in a different place. You're learning new things. You've got different friends. What could be a natural thing to do with your mental health, or whether it is that change that's causing the stress and you need a prescription for antidepressants, what you then haven't got is the support system around you to then say, how are you actually feeling? Because all the doctor will then say is, it might make you feel a little bit worse before you feel better. Just give us a call if you have any problems. Now, if you've never been to the doctor on your own before, you've never had to sort out your own appointments before, it's this big, huge thing. So there is a little bit on the lunchtime lectures that explains about a prescription safe plan, which is a separate training that the Ollie Foundation do. The other one was safe plans. It might have been a bit of a buzzword. I presume Cecile, you would know about this, but buzzword for everyone else.
We do have safety plans. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Which you can use in everyday life. It doesn't have to be for your mental health. All it basically is that if I find myself in this situation, how am I going to help myself? Who can I call and when can I call them? And it could be then in your natural life. If you was to then think, if I'm feeling overtired coming home from work today, what am I going to have in the fridge ready for dinner?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as that. It's just a bit of forward planning. If I was to find myself in this situation, what would I do? So a safe plan for your mental health is just something that is, if I'm feeling stressed out, I don't want to spiral into like a complete meltdown. Either I'm angry or I get depressed, depending on how the person goes. What they can actually do to help themselves. So I know I'm going to have a stressful day today. I'm going to walk home with a podcast in, and I'm not going to get to that point. And I know I can get to my home, get to my house. That's my safe space. And if I get there and I'm feeling stressed, I know such and such is like home from work. I can call them. It's that kind of a thing. So you find yourself not getting to that point again because you've already planned what you're going to do if you know, if you get there. So you're not panicking and making yourself worse.
They were very much safety plans to begin with. Now, because in one job, we use them as a safety plan if somebody is feeling unsafe. In other work that I do, I literally did one last week with somebody who's got an eating disorder, and it was about shopping. and how they need to then do that, what they need to put on the shopping list, what becomes overwhelming. That's a safety plan as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it can be used in various different ways. They're really good.
I mean, yes, it's safety plan. I mean, like the original ones that I remember being trained on literally was, if I get to this point, who do I contact? And also as part of your own, as a helper of any kind, whether that be your actual carer or whether that just be a friend, when is the time that I can speak to them? Because there'll be times when they need to look after their own mental health.
Yeah.
So you can't be that person that's there 24/7. It might be that you can do that, but we would then say, actually, no, certain people, certain times, certain places. The keeping safe and carrying on is another training that's on there that you learn as part of these lunchtime lectures. That is then just if you have had that issue before and you have thought about suicide, or someone around you has, or if you've been affected by someone with that has taken their life by suicide or tried to, how do you actually carry on from that point? How do you reflect on it and work on how you might feel about that? And the last one that I didn't want to put too much information on there, it's called the Elliot Strickland Lecture. Elliot is a young lad that did take his life by suicide. His parents and his friends have actually set up a charity, and they go more into a counselling side of things, in as much as to what they do. So they will go into schools and help you set up to that friendship kind of thing. It's more of that kind of level. But that lecture, it says lecture, it just actually explains what happened and how you can help it not happen again. It is an amazing thing, and I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that bite size, and I'm really interested in that one. I'm going to be going along to all of these ones, these bite size sessions.
Okay. And why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? May I ask?
It's not all official yet, but
well, you put it out
there. Where I have been helping out with the Ollie Foundation, they've actually asked me to actually be an official kind of helper. So for events online and events out in the community, so where you've got your charity information stand, or if they've gone to a conference or something. So you might have seen on my own social media, I went to where I did the Baton of Hope thing in Milton Keynes last year. They did a conference this year, and I went along, and I was actually talking to other people about the Ollie Foundation. Anyway, I wasn't going up there because of them. But
where was that?
That was in Sheffield.
It's not just down the road, you know.
No. I went up to Sheffield on my own. Didn't know anyone that well. I knew one person that was going to be there. Yes, so went up. I just chatted to loads of different people. There was other charities and things there. So, and it was a good day. It was a very long day. Kind of not necessarily the best thing to kind of like talk about, but it was kind of needed to be talked about.
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm kind of officially ish.
Working and Shelley's got a job. Not that she didn't have a job, because she was already working, baking and everything else. You know, trustee of fun. So it's not she wasn't doing anything. She's now got something else she's doing. Yeah. But it's really important, isn't it? It's as an organisation that has grown and grown.
Yes.
You know, getting that out there so that people know. And obviously, if you're in Luton, St Albans is just down the road as well.
I mean, most of their stuff, because of the way that COVID did everything, everything got upheld and was actually then put online. So the training that you do, most of it is actually then online, and to take little bits of that and actually just have, I mean, the shortest one they do, I think, is an hour and a half kind of thing. And it's just literally just learning how to talk, and the importance of those open conversations.
And using the right words, and not using the words like, are you going to do something silly?
So, yeah. And the other one that not many people kind of think of nowadays, but when I talk to my mum, it's the word committed. Committed suicide, because it was seen that it was against the law to actually do that, and against going against the church. That was the other thing that committed was then part of. And you use the word committed when it's someone that's then done something wrong, and it's actually, no, it's not. And some of the things that then do come up after suicide, that it was that they could be so, that why did they do that? Why did they not think of the family? Why did they not do this, that, and the other? Certain words that I don't want to say. But yes, it's sort of like, it's all then, couldn't they see what was happening? Most of the time, that's the only thing they were thinking of.
Yeah.
I've caused this, you would be better off. And that was what they were then thinking.
Yeah.
Or it is that they were only thinking of that thing to stop, and they've tried everything, and it's just been that other person that's around them that was then okay, I understand that you are feeling this way. I don't like that you're feeling this way. Please let me help you find something. Because that's another thing. You can't actually then tell them what to do. Can't tell anyone what to do. Even if it was something like drink, drugs, gambling, that person needs to feel that way themselves. And even when you're then getting help, you're asking them, can we get you help? Can we help you with this? So yes, you learn all those kind of little bits and pieces that would just then help with those particular kind of conversations. And I would want to say that everything that the Ollie Foundation do, all their fundraising and everything, is to make this training as free as possible.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, that you pay a bit for your training, but everything is free. They just want that out there, and being more suicide aware and safer place. And unfortunately, as we've gone through with COVID, as you saw on BBC News today, there was two different reports on BBC News this morning about something to either do with suicide or mental health. One being the Bags for Strife, which is where they've got a bag that they can give to someone that's bereaved by suicide to help them out.
No.
And the other one was to then say about mental health needs to be brought forward as part of the general election. And it was the Andy Man's Club and the Men Who Talk Club that were interviewed as part of that. And they are charities that are plugging these holes that are then left because of everyone is then suffering. So it's just, if everyone around you has got a bit more information and knows where these places are, half the time that can then make a huge difference.
Yeah.
It can make a huge difference.
Because quite often people are so consumed by whatever it is that's happened that they don't even know where anything is. They don't know where they can get any help from. They don't think there's any help out there.
Especially if you've only been to the doctors and it was try these tablets. If they haven't worked, most of the time you're kind of having to wean off them before you would then go wean back on something else. And you just feel, really? I've tried everything. You haven't, obviously, but you feel, I've tried everything. If you go to counselling, if you get put forward for counselling, please just try something different. When you say counselling, there's all sorts of different things out there. It could be a one-to-one is not the best solution for you, that you need then something else, a referral, a different way, a different style of counselling that's gonna help you better.
I think the hardest thing with that though is you've then got to go back and talk to somebody else. So it could be that you've got to go back to the GP and say, that was not a good fit for me. Yeah. Can I have something else? And sometimes it's that going back again that is the, oh, I've done it all already. But there are, like Shelley says, that, you know, counselling it's huge. There's many different forms, many different things that might suit you or might not suit you, so you can try something else. There's a lot out there, but you do need to go and ask for it, which can be very difficult. But there's people that will help you. So Ollie Foundation is something very close to Shell's heart, and now she's going to be doing even more work with them. Even more.
I tell them that I'm not going to get rid of me.
They're not. They didn't. Their aim was not to get rid of you. Their aim was to bring you in and use your skills, and that's what you're going to be doing. So well done to you, and lucky them. But you will, for anybody out there who has been touched by what Shelley's been talking about, it will be on our pages. The Ollie Foundation stuff is on our pages. You know, even if you just go to get some more information, that's fine, that's brilliant. If you've got somebody in mind, get some information, pass it on. You know, they're there, they are there, and they will help, as are many other things as well. But Ollie Foundation. So we're going to be finishing in a minute, but what else have we got this week? Friday.
A certain person has managed. I'm going to actually open this up properly. Hang on. It was scrolling across the bottom, and I didn't want it to scroll across the bottom. There you go. That's Janetti, part of our Simply Deez crew, has actually had her sellout theatre show in, I forgot,
Birmingham.
Yeah, I've forgotten. I was just trying to think how many gigs she sold out, like in Birmingham. She's done that. We're now in Luton on Friday. A few tickets left. We just released a few more. I think they juggled some bits and pieces round. So Friday, it starts at 5:30. The doors will actually be open just after 5. Yes, so please don't be late if you're coming down. You do need to go on the Culture Trust website to actually purchase your tickets. There's no tickets on the door. So don't think that, I could go out tonight. If you do think on Friday that you're going to come, you best get on the website really quick.
Jump on the website, get yourself a ticket. Parking. Yes. Obviously, it's the Hat Factory. So
yes,
it's going to be at the Hat Factory, but the Bute Street car park is now closed. Now
permanently closed because of the works that they're going to be building on there. So
what for? for our new ground?
For that is a new theatre that's going in there.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Going into the old bus station car park. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So you will be parking on where the ground would be, so St Mary's car park, or any of the other car parks that are around there.
Spiral. You've got
so you've got
opposite the library.
Yeah.
You know, there's quite a few different car parks, which are literally a 5-minute walk to the Hat Factory.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are parking spaces out there. So that's starting at 5:30 on the dot.
5:30. Yeah, so please don't try and park in any of the bays because they will be on camera. So even if the traffic wardens were to come round, you're still on cameras of an evening up until 6 o'clock. So careful.
yes, so get your ticket, people. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. We had some of the performers on here last week. So, yeah, get your ticket. Starts at 5:30.
There's a little bit of footage out there that I'll share on our. I don't know whether I did share it on the page or not. That was from the actual show. So yes,
Fantastic.
On there.
Absolutely fantastic. So that's us for today.
Yes.
That's us for today. And it's sunny out there. Go out, even if you're only just sitting out there for 5 minutes. Go and get some. It's, just go and get some of that warmth. But we will be back same time next week, 12 o'clock, for the Simply Together show. So see you then. Bye, everybody.